Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 157 of the Jiu Jitsu Dummies podcast. We are brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, it's website design, Google Ads, graphic design, and printing. We can absolutely help. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com. Request a free review of your online presence today. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a black belt training out of South Florida, actually at Coral Springs Jiu Jitsu and on Sample Road in Coral Springs. We got Christian behind the camera.
Hey.
We got, you got to be a little bit more excited than that. I mean, Jamie is more excited than you.
We
and
are
Jamie,
your favorite clients.
We are your favorite. I mean, we are.
Top five.
Are we the
Top
your,
man?
Top five,
Top three,
your
top
favorite and longest running?
Probably. You probably have the longest running podcast, probably out of like anybody I know, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Also the best looking, is what you're saying.
And the best looking guy.
That's gosh darn.
I mean,
correct.
40.
I mean, come on. Where's my clothes? Bro,
Wait,
what's
hold
going on,
I
man?
got you. I'm
Come on.
tripping already.
All right.
Wonderful.
Don't forget to like, comment, download, share. We'll do all those things that you could do. We were just talking about. What is it? Save,
You can
comment.
You can
what's
save
what's
it
the order
for
of
later.
importance to help us out the most?
From what I read, the order of importance is you save it, then you share it, then you comment on it, then you like it. So the best thing you could do for your buddies as you post is to save their content and share it.
Yes.
If
Thank you
you are
very much.
going to comment, try to use no less than 3 words.
And if that's confusing to you, ChatGPT it.
Yeah, dude, that's what I do.
Right.
I'm not going to lie.
And then we were saying Bo is with us as well today. Bo's always here if we have an in-house client, right, to do social media, do some, grab some videos. Joining us today for Mike's 4th visit and Sheena's 2nd, but the first time in-house, we have Mike and Sheena Bidwell from BJJ After 40. Yay! Woo! we spare no expense here.
Wow. I like the
Sound machine and everything, right?
Very technical.
A couple of quick shout outs, guys, so just bear with me. Thank you to our friends over at Flow and Roll. Hands down the best custom gi and no gi gear business. I've read that 50,000 times. Hands down, this is the coffee mic. Hands down the best custom gi and no gi gear in the business. Visit them on Instagram at flow_n_roll. Check out the custom designs they've created for academies throughout the country. He's on a little road trip right now doing the IBJJF and ADCC events. We've actually got he's got our banner for Academy Safe out there, a little retractable banner. So we're represented out there. Check him out. Always ask him about his pre-order program for gyms that are looking to get all their gi and no gi kits. He's got like a really cool program for you guys. So check him out at flowandroll.com. If you order anything on the website, you get 20% off with code JJD. All right. I brought my new glasses today.
Ooh.
I should have had you set up. Can you bring up layout optics, Christian? Well, I do this really slow so you catch up. Right? You can pull it up, right? Do you know how to spell it?
Dude, it's
Layout.
L-E-O.
I brought in a different set, so like a little bit more of a classic sunglass.
A little aviator-ish.
You worked with?
Yeah,
are you working with them now, or did you work with them?
Yeah,
or still?
I've been working with them.
I like that one.
He's about to steal your
Really cool,
sunglasses.
right? Yeah.
It's a good look. That works.
Oh, you totally look like a freaking 1970s porn star right there. Look at that.
I feel like one.
I was thinking like Top Gun once they're out, you know?
Once they're out,
Like of the military.
oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
This is South Florida, guys. This is South Florida.
See if you see these glasses there they should be on the homepage. This version. These are really nice, right?
I like those too.
All right, awesome.
I'm gonna
So I'm
need
gonna
to
put
get a
these
pair of
back on.
those.
See if you can. Yeah, I mean, look, Layout Optics is awesome. I would have loved to. We should have queued up this page. I don't know what the name of these are called, but if you don't know, right, they get you a little stripe here.
Now you
You can get your little stripe. Black belts can get the red, and every other belt you can.
You're gonna have to prove your legacy if you're gonna get the black belt one. You better
this
be.
is not Academy Safe. Hold on.
Okay.
So shout out to Leo Optics, the go-to brand for sunglasses and apparel featuring their unique bamboo sunglasses. These are not bamboo. This is more of a classic sunglass. This it appears like wood, but this is not. I don't believe there's bamboo under there. They were born in Southern California. Their products embody the BJJ lifestyle that we all know and love. Visit layoutoptics.com and use code JJD for 10% off your order. And like I said before, they're actually supporters of Academy Safe, and we got their logo on that banner too. Like all the companies that are working with us. So really cool. Thank you, Christian. Next time we'll get that queued up early next time. So Again, I really love these. I figured let me grab a different pair today. Let's put these back.
They look good.
Yeah. Let me put my timer on too. I always forget to put my timer. Put my little stopwatch on. All right. Thank you to Laheel Biogenics. They work with Robbie D'Onofrio and some of that, like that Tampa crew that we spoke about, that Gracie Tampa crew. They have 3 locations: Lakeland, Brandon, and Tampa, Florida. I think they might have a 4th one. I haven't talked to them yet, so I'm going to ask. Rolling every day is tough on the body, but pain doesn't have to hold you back. At Laheel Biogenics, they empower jiu-jitsu practitioners like you to recover faster, train harder, and achieve peak performance with the power of regenerative medicine, helping athletes stay on the mat and on top of their game. If you're not local, not a problem at all. Schedule a free telephone consult. The process is extremely easy with same-day treatments. All right, don't let pain or injuries hold you back. Schedule your free in-person or telemedicine consultation today at laheel.com. That's LEHEAL.com. And let them help you get back to doing what you love to do.
Ooh, la, la.
All right, let's talk about Academy Safe. We have, you guys are here. We're going to do a seminar tomorrow. This is going to air after the seminar, after we've done it. So, that was an awesome seminar, dude.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
That was amazing.
So many cool techniques.
So,
My God.
I've never had a better time in my life.
Yeah,
Me too.
I
never had so much fun teaching.
Next level. Next level stuff.
3 levels above that.
So we're going to, we're doing a seminar tomorrow. We've been talking about it for a while. I appreciate you guys coming in. This is amazing that you guys are here.
Thank you.
How's your visit been so far?
Oh,
You're
amazing.
filming some stuff on the beach over there?
Yeah, filming our next instructional, which is going to be a BJJ After 40 kind of no-gi instructional with kind of a little bit of everything, with movement training, solo training, strategies, techniques, the whole shebang.
Very cool.
Yeah, very
Are
cool.
you like filming literally on the beach?
On,
Or
well,
as, like,
yeah,
a
some of it
backdrop?
on, the beach is a backdrop. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really cool.
Very cool.
Yes, we love Florida.
So this is our very first charity seminar. So thank you for kind of like
Yes.
helping us figure out how we're going to do this.
Love it.
We're doing $75 for the seminar, and then it's a third going to the gym, a third going to you guys, and a third going to the
Yes.
to the
Happy
nonprofit.
to
So we
do it.
appreciate that. We've got some good signups, and we've been advertising, so hopefully we're going to have some walk-ins as well.
Yeah.
So Academy Safe is a nonprofit whose mission is to help clean up the martial arts by advocating for background checks, U.S. Center for Safe Sports certifications, and concussion training for all coaches and staff members at every academy throughout the United States and Canada. I am the founder and executive director of Academy Safe. Rob Ingram, the founder of McDojo Life, is the executive VP. And together we're going to completely change the way people find and vet martial arts academies by providing a website registry listing academies accredited throughout North America. In addition, we mandate CPR, first aid, defibrillator training, security cameras, and make sure you have business insurance. And then the last thing on that list is really we're doing a lineage check. So like that very last one is what's incredibly near and dear to Rob's heart. We got his book over there over Ben's shoulder. Can we get a shot of that? So Sensei's Bars and Scars. That's Rob from McDojo, Rob Ingram from McDojo Life. He's been an incredible help and amazing through this process. The lineage check, though, side of it is incredibly important. Right? It's what he's been working on forever. It's kind of like outing fake black belts and things like that. But it's like very reactive, right? It's not even reactive. It's like we're outing them, but we're going to try to do something before that. So get you on our website, go through the lineage check. And I always bring up the business insurance because it's kind of funny that a lot of gyms let the business insurance lapse after they sign their lease. I'm noticing that and talking to people.
That's insane. Every time
know.
you say it, it blows my mind.
It's happened
just kinda crazy.
more than 3 times. And the people I'm telling, I got to renew.
Oh, it's
And
wild.
it's like, it's literally, and I'm like, okay, look, we've got to, let's just stay on
Our
top of that. Right?
landlords mandate that. where we're
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Like it's mandated.
Yeah.
We have to show.
yeah,
it
if you're a
every year.
franchise, most likely the franchise mandates that you submit it every year.
Yeah.
Well, now
So
we'll
strange.
stay on top of
Yeah.
it. We actually put the dates that the insurance, anything that you've done that has an expiration date, we're listing. And everything that I just listed, these are all things that are like either required or just kind of like smart to do. You need insurance. The lineage check, hey, we're checking. If you got your belt, great. We've been using Belt Checker for people in the jiu-jitsu world. Security cameras, smart, right?
Common
CPR,
sense.
first aid, having an AED. I know that's the one that people are like, oh, it's so expensive. I actually, my gym bought a refurbished for like 400 and change.
It's not bad.
We're working with the Vive it is like a $2,500 AD. They'll break it up like $500 a year, but it's a brand new, latest and greatest tracking web app, like the whole nine. So you've got choices, you know, depending.
And
on who you are.
$500 a year isn't bad at all.
Yeah, you know. And then what else? What else is on that list? I think that's just about everything. But like, there's nothing there. I mean, and then the courses, right? The background check and the safe sport. Okay, you got to take some time to do it, but it's like all smart. I mean, I've already talked to people from the safe sport perspective. Like, people are telling me like, oh, this happened at my school. I'm like, imagine if everybody had the safe sport and everybody was looking out for the same things.
Yeah.
Like, that coach is just acting a little weird with that student, and why are they so close, and why do they leave at the same time? Like, just noticing things like that. So anyway, so
I actually have a question for you.
Shoot.
Are these courses like the CPR? Are you gonna have to go somewhere? Does it you bring someone in?
You're gonna have to go somewhere. So if you do it with a Vive, and you purchase an AED, they're gonna help you get the Red Cross out. It's typical. Red Cross is going to come out, and they're going to train you on the same AED that you bought. So you're going to learn how to use that AED, which is also like, you can go to the fire station and use their AED, but you might buy a different one, right? So they're going to come in and train you, but it's like, you know, those things are at their expense, right? The academy's expense, but we can help facilitate getting that set up. And honestly, we're going at this. I'm not the first academy or my home academy. We're doing it free at the Sunrise Fire Department.
Okay. Oh, the CPR first aid?
Yeah. So I've also heard from, I have an academy owner that's going through the process, and the same thing, he said, we're going to the local fire department. They do it for free. So, okay, clear that cost, right? So it's immediately, if you've ever seen a picture of my academy, there's probably like 15 plus black belts. So they're inviting all of the black belts and anybody else who wants to come to go to this firehouse. I think the firehouse is going to be surprised when so many people walk in, but people do offer it for free, so it's out there for free. Okay. I'm not sure what the costs are through the Red Cross because I haven't set it up with anybody yet. Yeah. But I mean, it's available. There's always somebody out there.
What about the concussion and the safe sport? Okay. Are those like online classes you can take?
Yeah. So when you get set up with us and you purchase the package, the first three things that you're doing are immediately you need to do your background check. Once you pass the background check, we're going to list your academy, you and your academy. We'll say if there are other coaches that have to get done, we'll note that, you know, other coaches still need to sign on and get it done. So background check is first. The background check, 5 minutes. The safe sport is probably a 3-hour course. I did it over, I sat down for 1 hour, 3 days. I broke it up. It remembers your spot. You do it that way.
Okay, so you can do a lot of these things online at your own time.
Not a lot, all of them.
Okay.
So, and then the concussion course is it's a 12-minute video and then like a 10-minute worth of tests. So you can get it done in under a half hour. So that's really easy and definitely good for the striking disciplines. 100%. And even the other day we were joking in the academy, 2 kids bumped it, hit heads just rolling. And the coach was like, we got the concussion training mill, making a joke. So it was just like, it happens. But for the striking disciplines, to recognize somebody's been like a little, you got that bell rung, right? You would say
100%.
So there's nothing here that's not going to make your academy better or safer. And then the cost is some gyms have paid for their coaches. Some gyms are like, I'm going to pay for us, and then the coaches will pay for themselves, and some just taking care of everything. So just reach out, ask us. We have somebody that just walks you through the entire process. You buy your package, we set up your account. Within 24 to 48 hours, you get an email. Just click on each thing and complete it. Background check, safe sport, concussion. And then there's a tab there that says all other items. Click on that. Just save it. We're going to do the other items with you. Okay. So that's it.
Awesome.
Pretty cool. We have a GoFundMe running, so you can donate via PayPal or GoFundMe on our site, academysafe.org. What else? The charity seminar, again, will be aired after that, but was January 18th from 12 to 3. So I think we have a pretty good turnout at this point, so I'm really excited. So thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for putting up with us.
So happy
to. There we go. That's it. Welcome to...
I know, it's very surreal.
So this is a perfect opportunity. I don't really I always tag them in the post, but for anybody that's looking to do a podcast junkies, Boca Raton, Florida, very cool. You get your own producer.
But you're not going to get our producer. He's the best, and he's going to stay with us.
So I would say, Christian, pop your head out for a second, right? It seems like if it's martial arts, right, it's you because you play around a little bit, right? So this is kind of like your thing. You would probably be the guy that's assigned. So, but you could do anything. You've got people that just do what do we got? The Crazy Rich Neighbors, right? We got a couple. There's some women that just kind of like do. I guess I haven't watched it. I follow their Instagram, but like they gossip about their the local stuff and
I bet that show's
there
amazing.
was Mickey Gall was from the UFC was recording here as well. You've had Rashad come in as a guest. Rashad Evans has been here as a guest. We had him on when we were in Miami, but Rashad came to Bo's apartment. He was just like, "What's going on? Are we filming porn? What is this?" But yeah, man, Podcast Junkies, Boca Raton, Florida. You could find it's very easy to find. But check them out. This is an amazing way to do. We've done it every way. We were talking before. I did this in a boardroom. I did this at 2 different townhouses. We did it in the master bedroom of a empty apartment that Bo had, and now we're here. This is definitely ideal. We don't have to worry about setup and taking things down, which we did before. I used to have to like load up the truck, bring the whole setup, take it down, put it back in.
That sounds terrible.
Just come here and leave. Come here, do it and leave. So check them out. Once again, welcome guys.
Thank you.
To our beautiful studio.
It is
Not our
beautiful.
studio, right? Yeah. Very cool. I love doing the podcast here. Like I said, we wind up just
It's a lot better than me in my family room, tucked into a corner doing it.
yeah. But look, from a guest perspective, like it's always great. Like we interviewed Tex Johnson. He was like laying in his bed with like the phone. Like, I think people like think we're way at least from the production side that it's like way more chill than it is. Like at the end, she's like, "Wow, that was really professional, man. That was really cool." Like the expectation is a little bit different because a lot of guys are just filming from their own, like the coffee table, or
but like
the kitchen.
you should
table
have
or
a
something.
tripod.
Yeah,
maybe
that
a
one was
remote
funny. The whole episode was like he's laying in bed, like
and
it's
it's
moving around.
switching
edges. Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah, so
Oh my, I'm getting anxiety. just thinking
earbuds
about
too.
it.
Like earbuds are bad if you're doing a podcast, and introducing anything wireless is kind of not great.
Man, my Beats earbuds have been very good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not doing anything on this level.
I'll ask the tech guys. Like, does it add a little bit of potential delay because it's wireless?
Delay and compression craziness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Versus just having the mic.
So wired is better.
Yes.
Wired's the way to go. Okay.
Always got to be wired.
Well, keep it wired, man.
Yeah, man.
So you guys came in the other day. I don't know. We haven't talked. They came in. They came to our Monday class.
Was
I saw.
amazing.
I was on your
Showed a
Instagram.
little bit-
I was jealous.
You were there?
I was very jealous.
well,
I wasn't even
well,
invited.
You could. Well, you've been invited Saturday.
I'll be there.
You're gonna be there.
Yeah.
No, you were there. It already happened.
Yeah. You were
I
there.
was there.
Yeah.
And I had a great time.
It was amazing,
the
right?
best seminar.
Oh, thanks,
ever.
man.
Immediately after, we had a whole bunch of people sign up. You showed one move, like, so we had like 3 different coaches show a move. It's usually kind of what happens, like different coaches show a similar move, or we did what was it, mount submissions from mount. Mike showed it. Mike showed his famous Magic Mike,
The Magic Mike choke.
coined in Costa Rica. Was it coined before that, or did somebody?
It had a terrible name before. It was I was calling it the Fist Ezekiel. That was awful. It was
Yeah,
like
that's horrible.
describing what it was.
Yeah.
I never had a good name, and I've got good names for
you
most
can't-
stuff.
You
I
can't
know.
make it easy for people to understand.
I know. And then who was it? Jimmy. Jimmy's like, we should call it the Magic Mike choke because you have to hold the lapel like a microphone.
You tell everybody, grab the lapel like a microphone.
You know, my
and
name's
just
Mike, so that kind of worked.
Yeah.
So I think they like the Magic Mike choke. It was pretty cool.
To this day, I still what is it? Maybe like once every 2 weeks, somebody's posting in the chat from
Right.
the Costa Rica retreat.
I got
Like,
one.
I got the Magic Mike.
I got one
tonight,
today.
you know?
I got one. I know,
Yeah,
it's great.
so-
I love it.
So that's always cool. And like, I love your teaching style. How did this? I'll explain in a second, but I want you to tell me, like, kind of how did this develop? Was this just like a natural progression, or did you guys really sit down and be like, I'm going to teach this way, and then Sheena comes in behind and teaches it with like the 1, 2, 3, 4 points, which I freaking love. It's the way I learn. I've been telling you that for a while. Like, I love the way that you coach it individually and together is like the way I learn. And I've talked to him about, like, he puts out a lot of content, and him like, you're here. And then you're here, like taking that time, not just showing the move and it's going so fast. You're like, what the hell?
I think
was that purposeful, or was it just kind of like you fell into that?
Kind of both. Like it's probably a reflection of our combined personalities.
Yeah.
Like I'm more the ADHD kind of, all over the place, and Sheena kind of can rein me in with 4 steps, just like our life. So it's like that's her. She's super organized and has her shit together, and it's like it just kind of how we run it in our school. When you say,
So is that the way you did it? Like, was it purposeful? Like, okay, wait, if we break everything down into 4 moves, it makes sense? Or again, was it Like, is there something behind that, or was it just like we totally just walked into that?
Well, it's a little bit of both. Mike and I have been training together for so long, but he's also my instructor. So I
Yeah.
have to be able to translate what he's trying to teach me
Yeah.
and then be able to communicate that back to other people. So it's a little bit of both. It's me being able to try to take it for my own self and
Yeah.
then also try to have everybody else be able to figure it out as well, so that we can make sure that across all boards, whether you're sparring or just drilling, it's going to work for you. And it has to be something that is going to be leverage based first. So it can't, that's Mike's whole system, is that it has to be something that has sustainability. You have to be able to do it not just at 20 years old and action packed, but do it for the long run.
Yeah, we always say BJJ After 40 starts now.
Yeah.
Whether you're 30 or whether you're 40 or whether you're 25.
I've had a few people when I said, "Yeah, we're doing a seminar with BJJ before." He's like, "Oh, but I'm only 30." I'm like, "No.
now's the time.
Forget that I said that. Like, just it doesn't. The jiu-jitsu is for everybody. Like,
Yeah.
you can have kids. I think you kind of showed some of the moves in Costa Rica to the kids. It doesn't matter. It just happens to be the brand, but it's
Yeah,
not like
but it's-
no. You can't do that move. You're
Right.
not 40 yet. Right? Like, no, this isn't for you.
Well, and
Actually, I think that's a great idea.
yeah, right. We're checking IDs.
Over under passing 35 plus.
Get out of here,
You know, fast passing sub 25. You know,
And we have such a difference in our age that Sheena was always under 40, where I seemed like I was always over 40. I always joke with her. I was like, when are you going to be 40? Because there's
Tell everybody
15
that-
years
that- yeah,
between us. So I'm
15
like,
years.
finally, a couple of years ago, she finally got there, and I'm already way into my 50s now.
Yeah.
So, but she's always had that, though. Like, I've always taught in a way that was, for her, like, that was hopefully sustainable. So
Yeah.
she always kind of picked up on that.
So you said he's your professor, he's your teacher. Do you bow at home? Do you say professor?
Always.
I know you don't talk about jiu-jitsu after 10, but before 10, is it like, hey, it's 9:59, you still need to bow?
We accidentally will go onto different surfaces just in life, like in a grocery store, and you bow, and it makes no sense.
I've done that, like walking it, like literally, I've done the whole like, caught
them
myself.
out.
I've done it. The shower is one, like getting into the shower and like what the.
well, you're
what the
kind of
fuck am I
ducking your
doing?
head under the thing anyway.
You kind of, especially for tall guys,
Yeah.
it's super convenient for me. I
Yeah.
bow everywhere.
Yeah.
Just get my head down.
Does it ever? I mean, what? Black belt. How many degrees?
First degree.
First degree and
Third degree.
third degree. How long have you been training? You said it the other night, like
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah, because remember, I was a brown belt for 13 years. So,
Good lord.
Was
Good
that-
Lord, set the record.
Was that? Yeah, I think that's probably
My
like-
brown belt was I was 5, but I was coaching in Bangkok and Finland and Germany, jumping around, and I was like, oh my god, please. But 13, did you like take off?
No, that's what everybody always asks. Were you training the whole time? Not only was I training, I was teaching the whole time. I've only really, as a job, ever taught since I was, like 25 years old. So it's always been teaching. So, but I taught for other people for a long time, and I bounced around and moved and just all that. And there's like depression in there and all kinds of stuff. So, all that stuff sort of slowed the process down. When I was 42, I was like 60 pounds overweight. And that was sort of the shift for me as I lost a whole bunch of weight, got myself in shape. I was a brown belt training, but I was like an out of shape brown belt training. Like, you do jujitsu for a while, you could be overweight a little bit and train and not be in your best form.
I feel attacked right now.
Why is everybody flexing right now? Like, I'm not out of shape.
I'm sitting right
Can't hold it here. Get me in the shot now, Christian,
He
because I
said-
can't hold this.
No,
in
I
forever.
looked at Milton. I was like, Milton. No, you guys look great.
My man said 42.
Uh-oh.
60? I'm only 40 pounds overweight, thank you. But I really feel targeted in this
No,
moment.
not at all. Not at all. But it definitely affected me because it was like the issue with it was that I was injured all the time. Like I was constantly hurt, constantly injured. So jiu-jitsu just wasn't fun for me then, So making that shift was pretty much life-changing. Yeah.
Sheena, when you guys met, we probably talked about this before, but remember, not everybody listened to the last one. So if we talk about the same things, it's okay. You guys met. You were doing Taekwondo?
Mhm.
Were you? So you were a martial artist. Was that your life? Was it like I am going to do something in martial arts for the rest of my life, or was it the hobby?
It was just a job. I was only 19, so
Were you teaching? Were you?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
teaching,
okay.
and that's when I met Mike, and he introduced me to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and
How hard were you to sell on jiu-jitsu? Like, I've met quite a few people that come from the more traditional martial arts, and getting them to even agree
Yeah.
to try what would be considered like a new age martial art
Sure.
was like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was no women at that time.
Yeah.
That's
so,
20 years ago.
yeah, it was very, very
Yeah.
different scene then. But Mike gave me a really nice introduction to it, and all the guys did too. Like everybody was super chill, so I was very, very lucky to be able to train and start that so long ago. But it was definitely like since I came from stand up and no gi, it was like, no, I'm good with no gi. And then like wearing a gi was like literally like wearing a carpet, you know, it was a lot to have to do, you know.
Yeah,
Preach,
I love
sister.
the gi.
Yeah.
I hated it in the
I
beginning.
love jujitsu. Period. I like the gi.
I hated
the
the
gi.
gi for years.
Love
Yeah.
Like that actually was part of what slowed me down. I was the guy that showed up to every open mat, whether it was gi or whatever, always no gi, never wanted to put the gi in, only felt comfortable no gi, would only compete no gi. And I felt like it was, and I think my coaches at the time felt like it was a huge crutch for me, like that I just wouldn't train with the gi. I wouldn't embrace it because I think deep down I knew that when I put the gi on, it was harder. And I was kind of getting my ass kicked way more with the gi on, but I could, take the gi off and just be like athletic Mike and get away with a lot of bullshit. And then when I really truly, like when I lost the weight and then embraced the gi, and now I just absolutely love the gi. I like no gi still, but I like the real technical aspects of the gi and the complication of it and the fact that you can choke people with your clothes and stuff. I love all that shit. So yeah.
That whole argument of go ahead.
No, go.
The whole argument of like, which I think is just so crazy, is the gi isn't realistic on the street. It's actually the opposite. You're doing no
It's
gi and you're
super
like,
realistic.
can't grab anything. You can't grab the shirt, you can't grab the shorts, right? So how realistic is that? I get the whole like it could happen faster and there's faster movement.
Sure.
But the gi, although you're probably not going to have such a thick collar, to
Which is
get,
even
you know.
better.
Right. It's
But,
better.
yeah,
What about a
yeah,
hoodie?
Yeah.
Take
So
that hoodie and
like a
wrap it around 'em,
hoodie.
dude.
Sure. I mean, I remember seeing a video. It was just some jujitsu video. It wasn't comedy. It wasn't meant to be like a jujitsu meme. It was literally a woman at a bar, and a guy was just bothering her. And finally, she's like, "Oh yeah, come here." And he's like, all like trying to whisper in her ear, and
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
just getting up into the collar and gets
Yeah, I
on both
remember that
sides.
one.
And it just chokes him out at the bar. And I think whatever. And again, I don't even think it was meant to be comical. It was
Yeah.
like, look, this right. You can. There's the gi. He was just wearing a sport coat. So it's like, isn't it the more realistic? I mean, the Gracies are always putting out the videos where, like, what's her name? Eva. What's Henner's wife's name? Eve. I think Eve. Right. So like, she'll show like grabbing the t-shirt, like bunching it up to create a collar. If like she was on the
It's an old
bottom and she was
bouncer
being
trick.
attacked, right? She'll
Yeah.
bring it up, and then you're getting in a cross collar
Yeah, I
with the
think it's-
t-shirt bunched up in the back.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is realistic. It
It
is.
is. If you're
the
looking
most
at
realistic.
purely from a self-defense perspective, I think it's a lot more realistic. I mean, especially depending on where you live. Like we're in Colorado, so we're wearing jackets most of the year.
Yeah.
We're wearing hoodies.
Most of the year, I think Colorado. I'm like, it's so freaking
Colorado's
hot.
crazy
well, it's
on
cold
weather.
at nighttime though. It's cold. Like it's
Yeah,
very
okay.
chill at nighttime.
like-
so
It
if
could
you're
be
out and
super
about-
hot during the day, and
Yeah,
then
and then
chilly
you're
at
wearing
night.
hoodies and stuff
Okay.
like that. So
Yeah.
I feel like in terms of self-defense, yeah, it's far more realistic. And even if you took the self-defense thing out of it, I just like the game of it. I think it's more technical and more fun to play with the gi than it is without.
I didn't appreciate the gi until I got older.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
all through my
Slow
20s
that
and stuff,
shit
I was
down.
just like, I'm strong, I'm fast, I'm athletic. And it was when I stopped fighting and started coaching gi that I was like, oh my God, like, I'm a
Yeah.
smart guy. And it kind of made me feel like I was doing a smarter activity
Yeah.
because there was so many more options, so much more versatility. This is the only time I've ever used geometry ever. It's fantastic.
I can
Only
say
time I
I always
understood it.
loved both. I just did gi more because,
Yeah.
like most academies, at least here in Florida, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday is gi. Tuesday, Thursday is going to be MMA. So it meant
Got it.
some stand up and then combine like MMA class. Afterwards, like the sparring at least would be you're starting on your feet, but if you get to the ground, do use your jiu-jitsu. So it was almost always like a Tuesday, Thursday here. A lot of gyms are maybe an open mat on the weekend, maybe one. Sometimes they've got open mats on the weekend period, and most of the time it was like gi. So it was very predominantly gi. And after I had the heart attack, I respected it and appreciated it more because I could control the pace. If I was the stronger guy, I can control the pace, either holding somebody down, catch my breath. In the beginning, right after the heart attack, it was really hard to get my cardio back. It was like very strange. Probably a lot of it was like a little bit of PTSD in my head, where it's just like man, I'm going fast, and I could feel my whole body beating. It was like if my heart was beating, I felt like the blood pumping in my entire body, and that's scary after you just had a heart attack. So being able to grab somebody, slow it down, keep somebody pinned, maybe a knee on belly even, but just keep my weight on them, and then use the gi to hold them down. Or if I'm on the bottom, no, I'm going to hold on to you so that you can't mount. Let me catch my breath. So I really appreciated it more, and I just wound up
it's like a slower, more tactile game than it is no-gi, where you're just like, it's like a cyclone sometimes.
Strange as it sounds, it feels more satisfying in a way, because like you can really outclass somebody like with pure technique. Maybe as a bigger guy, I never liked hearing like, oh my God, you're strong. Like I know I'm strong, but I want to hear like, I didn't know you could do something like that. Yeah. So I got so much more satisfaction about, competing with guys on my same level just off of that part alone.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
Because there wasn't as much of a fallback on just like, yeah, you're big and strong.
I do love it used to annoy me when somebody would be like, you're strong, like, because
now I
just like,
flex.
Your jiu-jitsu sucks and you're only beat because you're strong. And now I'm like, I mean, it's you don't just, I mean, I guess I do say it to some people, but when a guy's really tall, you don't go finish a roll and be like, man, you're so tall and long, right? Like, oh yeah, we're pointing out each other's strengths,
What do they say to you? Yeah. Squirmy, right?
Squirmy.
Oh my God. That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Let me hold on. Let me get my. let me get a new word for that. What is it? What is that called?
So squirmy.
Wiggly.
No, just what's another word for squirmy?
I don't know. Maybe you should go to ChatGPT.
Yeah, right there we go. Right. So another other word. Give me 10 words for squirmy. But go ahead. Go ahead, squirmy.
Squirmy.
This is how nicknames get.
You're squirmy.
But it's like with boxing. If you have punches, and then with kickboxing you have the kicks, and with Muay Thai you have the art of 8 limbs, which is the elbows and knees. I feel like the gi allows you that complication that not everybody is able
complication.
To harness or grasp, and when you're able to use your gi and your partner's gi, it immensely gives you more tools in your arsenal right away.
So I didn't really introduce you guys to Ben. Ben
Hi.
did
Hello, Ben.
He fought a little bit. ATT Palm Beach Gardens.
Yes, sir.
He did a little time on The Ultimate Fighter.
A very little
What
time.
year? I'll let you say. What season? What season?
I was on season 11.
Season 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the first fight on the intro episode. I got hooked up real nice by the editing people. They put me on and put me out real quick.
was it like the fight to get into the house? Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, I lost my qualifier.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay. I'm older now. It was a problem at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend.
Carry that around for a little bit?
Dude, I didn't even know. I had a girlfriend. We were breaking up probably like 6 or 8 months later. And,
was she like, I saw the show. We have to break up. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna look for it.
She was basically arguing. She's like, I took care of you after that. I'm like, yeah, that's what a relationship is. We take care of each other. And she's like, you cried in your sleep every night.
Oh, damn.
I was like, what?
Did you? Or did you not know?
I don't know. I really didn't know. I shit you not. I really thought I was drooling. I really thought I was just drooling.
When you woke up and your face was wet?
Yeah. I really thought I was drooling. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, man. That's crazy.
They were like jewels of regret.
For sure.
So Ben's been around. Ben's.
Nice.
You guys, are you guys kind of like this? How long have you been training?
I started in 2001. Yeah, right around 2001.
So like kind of same era-ish a little bit for the
Yeah,
two
like
of you?
I started like 95, 96,
Yeah.
but I was doing
the
doing
difference,
martial arts,
I think,
yeah.
the difference in those 6 years is so dramatic. If you're training in the 90s, you're like a national OG.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there were so few in 2001. Like I remember telling people about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and they were like, "What?"
That's when I was like getting into the UFC.
Yeah.
I got into the
Yeah.
UFC right around when like the Tito and Liddell stuff had started, right? When they were like went from friends to like they
Yeah.
have to fight because I think Tito had the belt. So I think that's like early 2000s
Yeah.
is when I first started getting into this world of like at least MMA.
Yeah, I saw on the preview channel UFC 1 and I was like, "What is that?" My dad's like, "You're not allowed to watch it. Get out." Yeah. Like, okay. And then I went to college 2000 and randomly came across like a Sherdog video. And I was like, "What is
Did
it's
you
still
wrestle?
here?"
Did you do anything younger? Did
so
you do karate, taekwondo?
It
Like
lingered
everybody's
with
done
me.
something.
It lingered with me. I wrestled in high school because I couldn't find jiu-jitsu in 94. So I just wrestled.
Were you looking for it and you
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
find
yeah.
it? Okay, so you
'Cause
kind of you were aware.
Yeah, because I saw UFC 1 in 93.
Okay.
And then I remember getting like my buddy's mom to rent us UFC 3 like somewhere around there, and I was like obsessed. And then it got taken off cable, and so it popped up just randomly on the internet, like look at this, and it was a Mark Coleman highlight, and I was like, it still exists. And then I found the Sherdog forums. My college had a judo club, so I joined that. And one day, some Brazilian kid came in. He flying triangled one of the coaches, and I'm like, "Where do you train?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "You have a blue belt. There's no blue belt in judo, and you're speaking Portuguese, and you sound Brazilian." He's like, "So you know?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Here's my phone number. Call me tomorrow." And he took me to an affiliate gym, with ATT, and probably within 6-8 months, I'd met the Brass, Laborio, Marcelo, Conan, and they're like, "You're with us now." I'm like, "Sweet."
Very nice.
I got lucky.
Where that was all here in Florida.
Yeah, so the first ever American top team school is the shopping center right next to us.
Okay.
Boca Black Belt Academy. It's now got Brutus BJJ. That's Marcelo Silveira.
Okay.
That's the original ATT. The whole thing is 750 square feet total.
It's the original place.
Yeah.
Still
So I was in FAU, but I was, which is a mile and a half down the road.
not too far.
But I was driving all the way down to Margate for the affiliate gym because I didn't know this one was here. Like
pointing all the wrong ways. By
it was before Google.
Margate is that way.
Oh. Yeah, whatever. But like, this was pre-Google. Like,
Yeah.
it was hard to find stuff.
Yeah.
So I got super lucky.
Are you guys into the UFC at all? Do you watch?
I
stuff?
was, not as much anymore. I mean, it's kind of weird because I grew up with that. Like, in jiu-jitsu, like every pay-per-view I watched, every fight, I used to get up in the middle of the night to check Pride results.
Yeah.
So I went to.
You woke up.
I did, dude. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Dude, those pay-per-views started at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
a dumb. Dude, go to bed, wake up.
Dude, I
You
used to
did the
set
right
my
thing.
alarm, get up, check
Yeah.
the results. I went to Pride 4 in 1999 with my coach at the time.
That's
I got to
awesome.
see. So I was training with Lon Goes at the time, and he fought Sakuraba. Got to see him fight Sakuraba. Got to see Hickson fight Takada. It was his second fight against Takada.
That's crazy.
The funny thing is, so we're like, I was a purple belt at the time. I went with one of my blue belts at the time, and when Hickson won, we were just there with Alon, but we had all access passes. I jump up on the ring, I'm high fiving Hoyler, and they don't even know who I am. I'm just some stupid purple belt dude, and they're looking at me like, who the hell is this guy?
Whatever. We celebrate.
We won jiu-jitsu. Remember that? Everybody would chant jiu-jitsu back in the day.
I love that with Vitor. Knock a dude out. Jiu-jitsu. It's like, hey, man, but boxing.
Boxing, right, dude?
Sheena, is there like I guess I would call it like a subculture to Taekwondo, like with the tournaments, as crazy as it is with Jiu-Jitsu, and did you compete at all?
Not really in Taekwondo, and I think it's a lot different for Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
I think that it's just like with Taekwondo, the katas that you do and just the sparring or that you do there, it's so different than
Is those videos I see of the girls yelling like "Ha!" Is that
the kata?
I mean,
performance?
that could be, but that could be any discipline, right? That could be any karate.
I mean, I came up
Right.
through traditional
Yeah.
martial arts too. I mean, I used
Yeah.
to compete in traditional martial arts,
Yeah.
doing that, like doing forms. I hated doing forms in tournaments. I'd pretty much just want to go and spar. And my coach would always be like, "No, you don't have to
Gotta
pay
do
extra.
everything.
Just do the forms." And I would do it, but I didn't like doing it. I don't think I was really that good at forums. I just wanted
I think that might have been for him to drum up more business, like to get more students.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. But
Black eyes don't sell. Mom don't like to see their kids getting black eyes.
Yeah.
But that's all there was back then. I think I would have definitely wanted to do BJJ if it was available back then. But that's all there was. It's such a different time now.
Did you like drop Taekwondo? I mean, was it something? Do you still do anything related to Taekwondo? Now it's just like
No, nothing.
an afterthought
It's
now.
just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I think when you talk about the community of jiu-jitsu, it relates very heavily to like the community of, say, Muay Thai or wrestling. And it's all the physical contact. I don't see it so much in boxing because boxing is kind of like I hire you and we pay people to help. But everything else that's kind of camp or team-based, that is like, I guess, high impact or a lot of connectivity, oxytocin's a real thing. There's a reason why you hold your kid with no shirt on.
Yeah.
But if I'm rolling with you for 5 minutes, twice a day, 5 days a week, we are going to be bonded. And it's going to bring that community in.
Yeah.
Even more so, I would assume, in wrestling, where you're just in t-shirt and shorts, singlet, and Muay Thai. Just there's even that much more like physical contact.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine like even football or soccer, baseball, like it's not the same.
There's a
kind
Well,
community
because of
that-
the submissions too. Like if you think about it, like you're literally have someone's life in the palm of your hands.
Yeah.
When so there's
You gotta
I think
trust them.
Yeah, there's. It's that was the word I was going to say. There's so much trust there, and trust requires like friendship, and it requires bonding with somebody. So.
So for the younger people that are doing jiu-jitsu or the younger people in jiu-jitsu, whatever age you're at, but like you're young in this world, I mean, it is the one thing that I know still feeds my soul to this day is I could have the worst day ever and then go to train and then just like once you start rolling and you've got to defend somebody, trying to simulate murder.
It's the best.
Is it oxytocin? Is it oxytocin that the mind releases? There's nothing better than that. I think the only thing that that I can say is the equivalent only in like the explanation, not the actual feeling, is like the runner's high.
Yeah.
Like you get to a point where you're just like, man, I'm in this flow zone.
Man,
and I don't want to ever stop running. You feel
It's
That's just called a high.
it's the first time.
Unless you're running and doing
first time Bo giggled the whole show.
hey, you gotta have goals.
Maybe jogging.
Jogging high.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, that's the closest I've ever come from like at least like a physical activity high.
It just puts, I feel like it, for me at least, it's like, it's mental health. Like it helps me with so many things. Like like you said, I could be having the worst day ever and go into my academy and just roll with people. And it just puts everything into perspective. And I think part of it is that you have to be so mindful when you're doing everything else just escapes you in that moment. You're not thinking about anything but what you're doing. And there's very few things in life that allow you to step away from reality and actually, be completely integrated with what you're doing.
Do you guys, if I can ask this personal question as somebody who I've never been in a relationship with somebody that does jiu-jitsu.
The answer is yes. We kick each other's asses.
I was going down that road of like,
We're going.
do you like, are there times where maybe you're fighting, there's a spat, a disagreement, and then you still get in the gym and have to train together? And does that help and get it out? Does it help with the?
I'll let you answer.
It's like,
does
no.
It does.
No, I feel like it does. Like sometimes we've even had some where we just like we knew we were pissed at each other and we just slap and bump and it just sort of it just gets all that energy out having her just beat the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Do you guys keep a record? Like wins and losses?
We do. We have a chart actually. We chart in. Keep
I win
stats.
every
She
time.
wins
It's like a prison
She wins
wall.
every time.
There's like dashes on the
Wink,
prison
wink,
wall.
wink.
Like,
Like winking.
Because I don't feel like dying in my sleep.
But you know what though? She's the only person who's actually ever choked me unconscious. So,
really?
which
We're not asking about your love life.
No, I know that was at home in bed.
You have a.
I've never had another guest I had so much in common with.
You have the story about, or you want to tell the story about choking somebody with your hair, the hair story, and then he got the tattoo. I like
What?
that, I like that story.
I do have the tattoo.
I just was training and there was a gentleman, one of the students who
Black belt.
when we would grapple, he would like if I had my hair up in a bun or whatever, he would just grab it all the time. And
I know.
As a black belt?
She was a purple belt at the time too, right? Yeah, you were a purple belt.
And he meant it to be like, what would you do now? Like, who cares if you're going to try to armbar me? I'm going to grab your hair. Who cares if you have a certain position? I'm going to grab your hair.
I would have been like, I can grab your nuts too. So
Put your pinky in their nostril. Sorry.
And it definitely was like, what do I do with this? So I went to Mike and asked him what to do.
He's like, and you were kind of annoyed by it and kind of like, it's kind of weird. And I was like, she's like, is that weird? And I'm like, it's super fucking weird, dude. Like, nobody grabs a woman's hair.
Because I've seen Mike with the man bun too. He wasn't grabbing you. He wasn't grabbing your man bun, was he?
Time, dude. So I was like, you should. I just said it jokingly, choking with your hair. So the next time we go in, I'm watching her roll. I'm sitting against the wall watching her roll. I see her get his back. And I see her pulling her hair down.
Get out of here.
Yep. She wraps the braid around his neck and chokes him with it.
How much did that hurt?
Not at all.
Really?
Because it doesn't
hurt his ego. His ego hurt him.
I'm combing my daughter's hair and you hear the and she's like, oh! So like, just imagine, that's got to be
and
pretty
she
rough.
tapped him, and then it was cool because he kind of bowed to her and was like, okay. So that's this tattoo I have here now. This is my Sheena version of a geisha, and you can see her hair goes down her, and it wraps around the demon's neck, and it's not actually fully completed yet. There's still
that guy was ugly.
Yeah, that was him. Well, here it's for me, it's symbolic of her choking out my demons.
Yeah,
which she has done on other levels as well. Yeah, so.
You guys.
We're getting all gushy now.
Show me the tattoo you did for your wife. No, hold on. Okay, hold on. These are prescription.
We're not looking for. You're not looking for it. We're looking at the tattoo. It says kosher.
Kosher.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the gym. You recently changed the name of your gym. You want to tell everybody like kind of what you're doing and how the new gym is operating?
We shifted our school. We changed our name. It's called Grounds, just like Grounds, Grounds, Grounds. And we do,
where is that? What city is that?
We're in Colorado. We're in Lakewood, Colorado.
That's like right outside of Denver?
Yeah, it's like a suburb of Denver. It's actually where that's where Sheena grew up. And we do still our traditional jiu-jitsu program, but then we also have judo classes, and we're always looking to add more stuff too. And then we have like a play and stay cafe where parents can bring their little toddlers in, and the parents can have coffee and the kids can play, and we have little different areas set up. It's very cool. Yeah.
We started to notice that if you can start jiu-jitsu for kiddos at, anywhere from 4 to 6 years old, that the younger ones, how do we introduce them to physical education, but in a fun, playful way, where it is, and that's how kids learn, is by play anyways.
And we call it warrior play.
Yeah. So if we're now able to have mom and dad be able to take their young ones to a spot where they're safe and they're having fun and they're learning how to move their body and their mind and process these emotions that come with life on the mats, when they're off the mats, they can translate that physical chess into their everyday issues or problems that they have. So it works really nicely for just not just us adults, but also, the younger ones too.
And we saw that like in our kids too. So we have 4 kids. We have an 18-year-old daughter in college and a 15-year-old son, and then we have a set of 4-year-old twins. So
with so many children.
I know, so many. Well, here's the thing, dude.
I've got one. Let me tell you, I have no hair.
Let me give you the little warning. So I was 51. We wanted to have another baby. Do you know you can have twins? Did you know this?
Yeah,
Did you know that? Dude, that's a real thing. So I tell people now, like, listen, dude, you want to have kids? You could have twins. Like, it happen.
Now, you told me the story the other night. You have twins in your family. She has twins in her family?
Her dad's a twin.
Her dad is a twin.
And they've got 2 sets of twins.
In the family?
And my wad has
Wait, hold on.
twins.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Who are the 2 sets of twins? Like immediate family?
He's the youngest of 12. And
Good Lord.
Dude, I know. And in that 12, there's 2 sets of twins.
And in that 12, there's 2 sets.
In the 12, there's 2 sets of twins?
Yes. I mean, he kind of knew it.
Someone wasn't paying attention.
Dude, I forgot.
We're happy to have them. We love them. They're amazing.
But I didn't
You couldn't imagine your life without them.
Of course not. They're the most amazing thing in the world. But here's the thing.
We were expecting one.
Right. And we're at 4 now. We're kind of over the hump. The first 2 years was like, almost unsurvivable, like in terms of
Yeah.
lack of sleep. Like it was really challenged. And
Yeah.
like, here's the funny thing. So like when we and we had him in 2022. So right now, height of COVID in
Oh,
April.
shit.
So, like,
I had my
literally-
daughter 2 months before COVID hit.
Right. So
Yeah,
we had him in
yeah.
April. And so one day we're walking in the park with our twins, and this woman comes running up to us, and she's like, "Oh, you have twins?" You're like, "Yeah, yeah." She goes, "I have twins. They're growing up." She goes, "You just got to make it to year 1." And then she walked away, and we were like,
What kind of ominous shit?
"What does that mean?"
When you look back, there was nobody there. So
she was gone, right? We were like, "What the fuck just happened?"
That's like someone coming over your shoulder and just going, sometimes they die. And
right? So we banked on that. We were like, "Well, dude, she must know." Like,
So this is
We
you
just
had
gotta make it 12
like the
months.
middle of you said 2020
Yeah, in
2020.
April.
So that was so.
Yeah, right in April. So yeah, so
Had you canceled your Netflix subscription? You didn't have because
No, we got our
That-
Zoom subscription now, like everybody else. We were on Zoom.
so much Zoom.
So much Zoom. No one knew about Zoom before.
Oh my God.
so
I think Zoom started COVID, actually.
4 years old.
I mean, they are a Chinese-owned company.
Probably
That's what
right.
I'm saying, dude.
They're 4,
They're 4.
and are they training?
Yeah, so like,
Yeah.
and that was sort of the impetus of like, with our academy, because it was like, that's where they learned how to walk, like that's where they learned everything. And, so they were always, that's kind of our play area. Like we just take them down to the dojo and let them play while we would do work, and they just
The
run on the
best.
mats and they just play all day.
The
So
best.
that was, yeah. So when we, now that they're 4, we're like, wow, we've got to like, maybe this is something everybody could really enjoy,
Yeah. I remember, not that I've mentioned the Gracies already once, but I saw a video where it was talking about how the Gracies would play jujitsu.
Yeah.
Henner and Huron, how they would play jujitsu with their dad.
Yeah.
It wasn't like force them onto the mat. It was like play at home,
Yeah.
like you're
Yeah.
passing his guard. You don't know, you didn't know you were learning jujitsu, but you were learning jujitsu.
Yeah.
And so it's like we were never pressured to be here. We wound up wanting
Mhm.
to be here when probably.
That's
around-
kind of how
around
it's
that
been
age.
with all of our kids, because all of our kids train, and they've always and they've had their ebbs and their flows where it's like they back off a little bit and then they're back in there. But we've never ever have put pressure on our kids to train. Like
Are
we're not those
they-
parents. We don't
do-
make them compete. They
Do the
what they
oldest
want.
train now? Do they train?
Yeah, like my
well,
daughter's in college, and so she hasn't trained a lot the last few years. But then she just came back for the holidays, and she's like, "I think I'm ready to train again. I'm
What
ready to get
What
back
does
on
she
the
want to
mats."
do for a living?
She's going to school for
I love how he looks right at you.
Well,
He's
'cause
like,
she
she
probably-
knows.
'cause she's going to explain it better than I'm going to. I'm going to butcher it.
Dad.
You're like,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
go.
answer those questions.
just environmental studies.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a smart kid.
So I kind of know, like, you would obviously love them to come into the family business. I would expect, right? So I've had this. I've said this to my stepdaughter. She's going to school for accounting, and I'm like, you're going to work for me one day, right? She's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to internship here. I'm like, I know, like she's finished high school in the COVID days where it was a lot of at home learning, Zoom classes. She went away to college her first semester. She had 4 classes away at school. 3 of them were remote.
That sucks.
She went away to school
to do remote.
and they're remote.
That's
And we were just like, you know what? She was 8th in her class. She graduated 8th in her class. So we were just like, she worked her ass off.
You let her
all
know
she
that
did was
that will not
do
stand in
work
this
and
household.
read. But what's that?
Eighth?
Should have been 5.
You want to know something? No matter as the stepdad, it was every opportunity I got to do that, I would do. I'd be like, she'd be like, "Oh, I got an A, but it's not an
Was
A
it an A
plus."
plus?
No matter what she did, but she
Step
always
up.
knew I was joking at the
Was
end
it
of the
a
day.
97?
But I never let her like I would knock her off the high horse a
Yeah.
little bit, probably a little bit more because we used to just tease each other. But yeah, she went away to school, so she takes 3 remote. But my point there was that she loves being by herself. She loves to read. She read her and her friend would read these smaller books, 80 to 100 pages. I think these teen kind of love novels, right? So literally they were reading 80 to 100 books in a year of these 80 to 100 page books. That Colleen Hoover stuff, I don't know if a few of the movies have been made, they just love that stuff. And they would just kind of, how many books have you read? And they would be like, hey, read this one. And she'd find book lists. But
was
she loved
competitive?
they were competitive about reading. Yeah, it was, but a fun competitive.
Okay.
It wasn't I'm going to choke you out tonight. It wasn't maybe as competitive as
Are you
jiu-jitsu
flirting
gets.
with me
Yeah.
right now?
No, not at all.
I see eye contact. I don't know.
So my point to that is like I know that she loves. Oh, I know she's gonna hate waking up to go to an office for a 9 to 5 unless she found something remote. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know, you're gonna work for me one day, right? Because my daughter works for me. My daughter's half sister works for me. Her fiance works for me, and we have another half sister of hers coming to work
Did you
for
not
me.
explain to her how
So-
good nepotism is?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm like, wait till you get treated the way you're gonna get treated out there. You're gonna hate going to unless you get lucky enough to do something remote, which is a possibility. She's doing an internship this semester, so there's a lot. I'm like, I've just in my mind, I know she's gonna. She knows. She saw me working at home. She saw me like how I loved it when she was home doing homeschool. I was at home working, so it's like a lot of times she'd come down at 12 o'clock. We'd have lunch. I'm off from work. She's and then she'd go back to her room, lock herself in the room, and go to school and
That
read.
sounds pretty awesome.
So yeah, I mean, like I was like literally, I wouldn't even see her for breakfast. I would just see her for lunch. I'd be like, oh, you're still alive, okay, and then go back up. And like I just know her personality. She doesn't want to be around people. So unless she finds something where she doesn't have to be around people, I go, you're gonna come work for me because it's gonna be remote. You'll be able to work from wherever you are. So, but going back to this, I think that the appreciation for the family business, without nobody in my family does jiu-jitsu. No, the kids, the girls, nobody. So I think the appreciation winds up coming back to like regardless of what you go to school for, you wind up potentially coming back to like the family business and appreciating not only the family business, but I think. Like I tell people, I would have quit jiu-jitsu if I was young. If I would have started when I was younger, I would have quit. I didn't have the discipline.
Definitely.
I appreciate it, understand it, respect it. You talk about the mental health aspects, right? It does so much more for me now than I ever needed when I was in my 20s and even my early 30s. That like now I respect it, understand it. I would never quit. I'm not gonna like quit it like I quit soccer when I was a kid, right? So I think there's this respect that comes back, and like even if they go off and do their own thing, there's going to be this element that winds up bringing them back to the family business, and that's what I think is going to happen with her. She's going to go out there and experience real life and go, oh, it's like I have to wake up 2 hours early to get ready to go to work, to then commute, and then come back. So my 8-hour day is now really like 10 hours, including the driving, right? As soon as that starts to happen, and you don't have a remote option, I believe that she's going to be like, "Hey, do you have some?"
And 8 of those hours,
Work
she's going
for
to hang
me?
out with people, and at least 50% of them, she's going to fucking hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind
The
of
real
got to go
world.
have that experience on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wanted to have a martial arts school when I was younger, but I went to the military and I went to the Gulf War and I worked in a POW camp for almost a year. And so like when I came back from that,
Did you say MP? Right? You were an MP?
yeah, and I worked in a POW camp, and so I saw like people at their absolute freaking worst. And so when I came back from that, my plan originally was going to be to come back and become a cop. And then after that, I was like, man, I think I'm going to give the martial arts a shot because I just don't want to be
Looking
in that-
back now, right?
Yeah,
we talked about this.
Yeah,
a
we
little
talked
last
about
night
the other
that
night because you were going to be a cop too.
Yeah, I took the test
Same.
in New York.
Yeah,
I
I
came
did that
down here
too.
and did it. I did it I was 36 and I was interviewing at the different departments here. And then I tell you I got a ticket.
Yeah.
And it's
You're
pretty
like,
much
to hell with this.
No, I got
don't want 'em.
a speeding ticket, and immediately it's just like all the departments down here. You take the car home. So if you don't have if your shit's not pristine, it's very, very hard. It's immediately like we're probably not going to put you in a car if you're getting tickets while you're not a cop.
I thought about that. So I graduated with a crim degree. I was supposed to go to the cops. I started fighting, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do this for a little while. Got into coaching and such, and it wasn't until I moved to Thailand where I was like, I'm actually not going to be a cop.
Right.
Yeah.
I lived this crazy straight lace just in case. What if the career goes bad?
That's how I was
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. And then I moved overseas, and now I'm weird.
I'm so glad I'm so glad I didn't. I couldn't have, if I wound up getting on in New York City, and the only reason I didn't get on was because Giuliani had changed the requirement from high school diploma to 2 years to 60 credits, and I had left school and I had I only did a year and a half, and then I dropped out my fourth semester. I feel like the universe somehow looked out for me because I think at that time the starting salary was $26,000 a year, I believe, for a New York City police officer. It was horrible. Again, my dad was in there, became a sergeant, made good money with the overtime, like those things happen. But starting salary, 26 grand. I would have been in New York for at least 20 years. I moved here when I was 25, so I would have been there, right? You're probably going to be on the job and do at least 20 before you take your pension. And I just believe I would have been a miserable person.
100%.
Just a miserable person.
It's a
Because
hard job.
also, like, I didn't grow up in New York City. So, like, understanding and knowing the city versus people that would go in. There's a reason why they give you like 5 points on your test for being in New York City, and then you take the test. You get your vet points, you get your residency points, right? So you're immediately, if you're a veteran, I guess you could split up the points. Like you could take certain points. So let's just say you use I think it's 5 points. 5 points for being a vet, and then 5 points for living in the city. You're immediately if you get 100 on the test, you're at 110, right?
Yeah.
So you're in that top tier. But there's a reason why they want people that are residents, because you understand, the city.
Sure.
And here I am, I was a suburbs kid, just like where I live in Coral Springs. It was like that, just like it was just regular neighborhoods. It was like there were no buildings, there were no like skyscrapers, or even like the tallest building was like a 4-story Howard Johnson, and like the middle of town, I can't remember any buildings bigger than that. And it just would have been, it would have been fish out of water. And it would have been, I just know it would have been miserable. I know,
What a
I had friends that
place
became
to go
cops.
and be a cop when you're like,
But, for you driving from the burbs where
Yeah, that's what
everybody's
I'm
in a
saying. Like,
house
I'm
on a
gonna go
half
work
acre of
in the
land.
Bronx. Like,
Let me go into the concrete jungle and be miserable. And now it's even, it was bad then, but now just like the
I heard-
disrespect for
I
the
heard
police
now,
department.
I heard in like New York now, like crime wise and like violent crime wise, like Times Square and stuff is the same as it was in the late 70s, early 80s. Like it's pretty gnarly again.
Yeah.
But apparently the city outside of the more touristy areas is still cool. But if you if you're on vacation,
I've stayed in Brooklyn a few years ago. Went to a UFC. It's probably 7-8 years ago. Went to a UFC. We walked back and forth to the arena from where the hotel we were staying at. It's just like, it was great. It's nice, but being a cop in some of those outer boroughs where the crime rates are high, and then again, I think we all see the videos. The disrespect that
so
levied
cops
on
go through a
cops.
lot, dude. I have a lot of empathy for those guys. That's a tough job.
Because back in the day, before there was a camera, if you told a cop to go fuck himself, you're probably going to catch a beat down, and
Especially
you're
New
going to be in
York.
cuffs.
I actually
Sorry,
have you heard
but
about
you
the
would.
7-5? It was in New York. It was the 7-5. It was an entire graduating class, an entire department that basically got arrested for everything from shakedowns to racketeering to money laundering. The entire department was like was just dirty. Just look it up. It's just the 7-5. You're gonna find a ton of stuff about it.
That's wild.
That was mid 80s.
Now, I say, the disrespect for the police. I will say this. I have a very specific story. I had a friend who was going through the police academy, graduated the police academy. He'd come out of the military, was on the list, got called he was pretty young, so early 20s, is already a cop. And I remember being at a friend's party. He came over, it was after work. We were just talking, and his, my dad was a cop. His father ran I don't want to say this part. His father was like a high level in New York City, and in one of the departments. And he said, he was just like, today I learned that if somebody runs from you, when you catch him, you give him a couple of extra shots for running. That was a thing. That was the thing that you did. Like, don't run, don't ever run again. And you give him a couple of shots and
Wow.
in the leg, and you had your baton or whatever, right? So I was just like, oh, and I carried that with me for so long. I remember it. I remember where I was, the house, the part. I remember everything about it because I wanted to be like, I was still, going through the process and taking
In your
the test.
heart, were you like sick, or you're like, oh no?
No, I was kind of like, oh shit, that's culture.
Yeah.
That's police culture in New York City. And it was just like, it was disturbing. So it's again, one of the reasons why later on I was just like, I'm glad I didn't do that. Cause
Well, we're glad you're here and doing this.
yeah. I'm glad I didn't do it at the end of the day.
Me too.
So let's go back to the grounds. So the grounds, you've changed your name.
Mm-hmm.
So 4, good age to get people started. Our kids if a parent walked in with a 4-year-old, would they go into this kind of that, like a program, like you said, where they're kind of going to play a little bit more? Are they sitting, learning arm bars and getting mounts and stuff like that? Or is
They
that
can
just
do a
too
little
young?
bit of both, but we kind of like you were talking about, playing jiu-jitsu. So we try to sneak up on them with a little bit too. So we'll have little games and things that are, if you were a jiu-jitsu guy, you look at it, I see what they're doing there. They're taking the back right now. You know what I mean? Doing stuff like that is very much jiu-jitsu, but for a kid, it just feels like play.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So the kids aren't going home going, look, mommy, I learned the
Let me
magic
choke you.
mic today.
Right.
For ages,
Mommy, look.
I tried to teach real jujitsu and to 4, 5, 6-year-olds. Actually, we had a larger spread. I think we had 4 through 7 and then 8 through 12 kind of thing. And actually this year I was like the 7, 8, it doesn't compute. So we started 4 to 6. and then put the
Like, so
7-year-old.
the 7-8 doesn't
Yeah.
compete. What do you?
They were too advanced for the 4, 5, and 6 year olds.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
they'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
bored,
Yeah.
right? We had some of the kids were like, oh, I want to stay and help, and they would help with the little kids, but they would do the big kids class.
Yeah.
But to teach a 4, 5, 6-year-old like hold position, square, slide knee, pivot,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not. So like,
He's thinking about what ice cream he's gonna eat when he gets
Gotta
home.
be
Right.
fun.
And should
We-
he pick,
we-
can he
we
pick
try
this
to-
booger right now?
yeah, so everything
Yeah.
became segmented and kind of gamified.
Yeah.
Like backpack. They get their seatbelt. This kid's not getting their hooks in on a 13-year-old, let alone me. But they got to hold on, adduct the legs, use their hooks. And all the coach is doing on the knees, on the butt. Do a sit out, do a technical get up to like hands and knees.
Yeah.
So you're twisting, you're turning, and they're just focused on control and this and that. Same, switch them, put them in mount. Buck and Bronco, bomb.
Yeah.
Use your hand, use your feet, hold on tight. So it's just play.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was doing with my daughter in the living room. And I'm like, oh, this kind of works.
Yeah.
Because before she even started training, we got to a point where I was like, koala attack. And she'd grab my arm and sit into an arm bar. And I'm like,
Right.
Koala
oh.
attack?
Yeah, I call it koala
Yeah,
attack.
like,
I don't know.
We do
Yeah.
that. We would like climb the tree, spin around the tree, slide down the fire pole. You know
And
what I
you
mean?
can do that stuff with them all day. Foot tag for wrestling, knee tag for stance drills, stuff like that. Like my daughter's probably been consistent for like 4 months, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And even half the time she's like, I don't want to put on a gay. I don't want to. But as soon as she's there and sees the other little girls, she's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Throw down.
But like now I got video. She gut wrenched one of the girls and wouldn't let go and was like getting like back points, and didn't even realize that she's gut wrenching and bridging. Like she's just grappling her
You
around.
ever see that video? This is a very famous. I've seen this for years and years, where the dad is holding the little princess outfit and then the gi.
Yeah.
He's like, which one do you want to do? And she goes for the gi. He's like, yes.
You made the right choice.
When I was at white and blue, I did help coach the kids class. It was always really kind of help coach. Period. One of the things we used to do at the end of class for one of our games was I used to kind of stand, like kind of squatted just slightly, and then there would be teams of kids, and then the kids had to come up, climb on top of me, and go from the front all the way around. So
Right.
like grab your back,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
they can work on their grips. No
tree
choking, no
I
submission.
had to do that
But I would
as a
just
two- as
stand
a
and be like a
300-pound white
tree.
belt.
Dude.
I forget. We called it something about like
Dude,
a tree or something.
there's a video somewhere on my BJJ After 40 YouTube. I can't even do this shit anymore. But this is like 40-year-old stuff. And I would climb around people, then I'd go under their legs.
Yeah.
And then I'm up over their back and back under again. I can't do that anymore. But I used to be able to do that stuff.
don't
could
think
never do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Yeah.
could never do that.
My first
I
coach
couldn't
had us do
anymore.
that. I'm 320 pounds starting. She's like, okay, who can hold the band?
And he got you. He probably got you with some little ass dude too, right?
Always.
And that guy's looking at you like, what the
Have you
hell
ever
is
seen the
he
one
doing?
there's like somebody does it on a chair? Have you ever seen the one where somebody
Yeah,
actually
shit's
does it
super
like,
impressive.
under
Yeah,
the
it's very
chair?
impressive. Very impressive. That's a young man's game.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's funny.
I did. I loved coaching. It was definitely like that's one of the things. Like if I there are a few things about jiu-jitsu that feed my soul. Doing this, if I'm not doing it, I love talking about it. I
Yeah.
think I know you guys have your rule, no talking after 10, but I'm sure during the day there's lots of talk about
Well,
jiu-jitsu.
we always talk it. It's part of our life, so it always finds its way into
Yeah,
every conversation. Somehow.
I love talking about it. I love training it, but I do love teaching it. And one of the things that I love about my new school is that they'll say, "Hey, do you have anything from this mounted? Would you like to show them?" Like, I love that. That feeds my soul.
You can't say enough how cool that is. In all my years of teaching, even to this day, if I have a visiting black belt, even brown belt, like share something.
Yeah.
Because I find it in all my travels to be generally uncommon to have that kind of open,
Yeah.
I don't know, platform.
Yeah.
But if you got someone who's a brown belt, that guy's been doing things for at least 6 or 8 years.
Yeah. He knows
And-
some stuff.
Right. And if they're not from your gym or your coach's gym where you're going to have like tons of similarities, like let that man share some stuff. Now,
Yeah.
granted, some people aren't talkers. They're not cool. But if they are, dude, that's knowledge.
Did we say that in the car? We were just saying, I think I said, like not just because you have a black belt doesn't make you a good teacher though. Like
Yeah.
you might not
I know
feel
a lot of
comfortable
black belts who
conveying,
can't
like they don't like to be in front of
communicate at
people.
all.
Well, it's a lot of that people just aren't comfortable talking in front of them. Like I love it. I do
Yeah.
this. I talk all day at work on video chats and at meetings, and it's just very natural for me. But I do love. It happened last night. I showed an arm crush.
Mhm.
So I showed it from side control and I showed it from full mount, where I basically from side control I'm knee on belly, and then I'm putting my knee across their face or their neck, and I've got the arm crusher. Right? The arm is extended.
Yeah.
Reverse armbar,
Yeah.
like the
It's
Hold the phone?
It's
Yeah.
So I showed it from there and from mount. And then a kid at the end of the class, a blue belt that's pretty good, like one of these kids that's been training for like years, but he's an adult and he's a blue belt. He was like, "Yo, professor, he's like, I got that." He's like, "I love that, thank you." Like that alone. Again, I know you
get a
guys
little
probably
buzz,
get that
man.
all of the time, but as somebody
You'd
who
be
hasn't
shocked.
coached,
You
you always feel that good?
No.
Oh,
No,
I
like,
love that.
it's
It feeds my
almost like-
soul that somebody's going to take something I just learned and now be like and make
I
it their
love
own.
that, but it's almost like expected when you're the head coach. Like, very seldomly are you, coach, that thing really connected with. Like, I got it changed. I get it every so often. One or two guys will be like, dude, that thing. Like, I was teaching wrestle ups from half guard bottom, and one of my guys was like, "You've changed my entire half guard." And he's like, "I did it. It worked. It worked the whole time." And it was and you're like, "Yeah."
I'm constantly showing the lockdown because I love the lockdown and I'm how I do it and then how I get out of it. So I just teach that part. I know there's so much more to it. There's so many more moves that I don't do just because it's my body that like the way to sit up. I just can't sit up the same way, lower back pain and stuff like that. But when I show people like that, like that's one that usually people are like, oh.
I pick up a lot of stuff from her, just like little technical things stuff that I can normally get away with, but because she's smaller, she has all these little.
She's got to be more refined.
Yeah,
she
like
has to be
way more
accurate.
technical.
Yeah.
She's way more technical than I am.
Yeah.
When I was living in Thailand, one of my students, a blue belt, a Turkish kid named Ozan, taught me more than I had learned in like the previous 2 or 3 years. Yeah. And a big part of it was because he was 135 pounds. So he had to be perfect to be effective. And I was a 2-stripe brown belt at the time, and it changed my game. Yeah. Completely.
I like small people. You started to say something before.
I think that's like the guy who would pull my hair. I don't think it was because it was against me. It was just like, if I'm going to be doing this and there's no other women on the floor and they're going to be putting, a stripe on my belt or another belt, I have to be able to mentally, emotionally, and physically be able to deal with what I might encounter. And it's instances like that where, you are able to grow and learn things about yourself and about the game of jiu-jitsu in general and how you approach it, that really do offer those learning opportunities, right? Sure. So it is fun to get past the dogma of your own kind of stuff and get that open source to be able to share like the positions, the submissions that are working for you in your own game. So yeah.
What type of game would you say you have? I do pull guard. Oh, if I'm these days, if I'm fighting somebody or I'm training with somebody that's smaller than me, I'm gonna pull guard. It's gonna be a little, unless they're at a higher level than me, it's just gonna be a little unfair. I'm gonna pass your guard and I'm gonna hold you down, and we know where this is gonna go. So I'm gonna pull guard. I'm gonna let you work, and then I'm gonna work on my defensive stuff. Do you have a set game that you think is your game? Okay, I think I look at Mike now and I say, lapel stuff. I go, oh, Mike, you're going to learn some lapel stuff this week. Do you have a game that you prefer, or have you kind of adopted his game because he's the professor or he's your coach?
She's like a lapel chick, right?
Yeah.
But you do your own stuff with the lapel, and you do a lot of really mean stuff.
Girls are always mean.
That's the answer to that.
Nasty shit, dude.
She said, "Thank you."
Right, exactly.
Dude, this combat is not
nasty
supposed to be
shit,
nice.
dude.
Thank you,
I
Mike.
rode with her the other night at this school over at Coral Springs, and I was like, oh my god, she's got her fucking knee on my head. I was like, you're such a dick.
Do you feel that? Is that on purpose, or is it just the way your game's evolved? Or you I'm gonna definitely put my knee on his
He
face
didn't do the
tonight.
dishes, okay? Yeah. And so this is what happens. Okay?
I was showing one of your students how if you're able to create leverage with your fist, your knee, don't be biased against it.
Yeah. One of the things I loved about the way that you guys were teaching too was there's maybe you get swept. Like again with the Magic Mike was maybe you get swept. There's still okay, now I can just move my knee in here.
Right.
And then just kind of push it against your chest and I'm still choking you. So I'm not letting go of this choke.
Right.
I'm just going to make a tiny adjustment and I still have I tend to do that with if I've got somebody who's really strong, I'm he's going to sweep me. But in the sweep, I'm going to grab the lockdown. And he's going to be he thinks he swept me and he just got into an advantageous position. And I'm always looking for the lockdown if I'm.
That's something I try to do too. Like when I teach, is every possible avenue. Like if they defend this way, they defend that way. How am I going to counter that? And I like the idea of when I'm choking people to constantly disrupt their base, like get them off balance. So like if I'm doing a cross collar choke on you, I'm going to mess with your base, to kick at your knees, try to get you off balance. Because if you're falling, your body instinctively is going to react to the fall, not to the choke.
Sure.
And I can choke you quicker that way. Plus, whenever you add motion to a technique, like it amplifies the leverage of the technique versus if you're trying to do a choke from a static position. So I try to add that to everything.
The person being choked, their brain is immediately, whether you realize it or not, like he's immediately working on, okay, I'm being choked and I'm falling.
But
the brain is immediately
their brain's going to go to the fall though.
Yeah,
because it's a natural reaction. Like if I pushed you and you started to slip, you're not going to go, "Oh God, I'm falling right now. Must catch balance." You're just going to go. It's like a natural reaction. So the more you can disrupt their base, which is really disrupting their inner ear, their balance, right?
Sure.
They're going to be falling off balance. It's easier to choke them now.
Very cool. What are we gonna be working on tomorrow? What do you kind of have?
We got a whole
punch
plan
list.
Together.
You got the plan.
A whole long list of stuff.
Yeah, I'm super
How long
excited.
is the seminar?
3 hours.
So we got 3 hours.
It's a big one.
3 hours. I did ask them. I said, give me a half hour at the end because we got a bunch of stuff that we're raffling. So we're gonna raffle. Again, this is gonna come out after. So I'll say I've got 3 Lao Optics glasses to raffle. So their $75 fee, they get 1 raffle ticket. If they want more, donate anything, and it's for every $5 you donate, you'll get another raffle ticket.
That's amazing. Who does that?
So,
It's a great
I've got 2 extra. I've got 2 other pairs that I'm going to give to the owners to thank them for letting us do this. So they'll both get, it's $100 a piece, right? So going to give them. I got the okay from Flow and Roll. I was already saying it. Sorry, Sean. I was already saying that I was going to give them away, and I was happy to pay for them, but I'm going to give away 3 Flow and Roll gis.
Awesome.
I've got coffee mugs. I brought like one size, probably stuff that I'll just give away. Cause I've just got specific sizes. So I've got podcasts, t-shirts, Lao Optics also sent a couple of rash guards, and I have a couple, so probably gonna like raffle those off as well. So there's a lot of stuff that
That's
we
awesome.
Mike
I
and Sheena
calculated.
keep winning everything. What is happening here?
What's that? What'd you say?
Mike and Sheena keep winning everything. I was like, we're the drawing, are we? I want the glasses. Bro.
I calculated it's about $1,000 worth of stuff.
Mike and Sheena keep winning everything.
If you're interested, I can bring down a handful, 5-10 t-shirts if you want to
Please
throw
do.
them in there.
Please do.
Hell yeah.
We can either raffle them, or if you want to give, if you want, we'll raffle them. We'll just keep on going.
Cool.
So everybody's going to wind up with something. Okay, put these tickets back in. Put everybody back in. So again, hopefully, if people want to donate more, they'll be able to get more raffle tickets. So we'll have a lot in there. And it's just going to be really cool. So I did tell him. I said, give me like a little time at the end. He said, hey, we might take like a break at every hour. So maybe if it works, we'll do. Okay, let's raffle a couple now and just do it during the class. Like just break it up a little bit. But so like the 3 hours, like your face, like 3 hours. Well,
I'm gonna have to go potty.
Yeah,
in the middle.
There will be potty breaks.
Yeah.
I want to constantly have to go.
Yeah.
But I'll introduce you to my urologist. You'll be
right. That's one of those things
He's
that
got
happens
small
as we get
fingers.
older.
You'll be good.
You got the whole fist in there, Doc?
Speaking of small fingers,
Bro,
where are you going? What were you going to say? Speaking of what?
No.
Small
I was going to
fingers?
speak about the seminar, but I was going to say I have a hilarious story about the first time going to urologist, but we'll get to that later. So when I teach seminars, I don't typically do an open mat at the end because I'm 42 and I got a bad back and
because people expect to roll with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing. I love to roll, but I need to be comfortable enough with the person to know that like I'm not going to get scorpioned or accordion because they're trying to prove something. Like you remember watching Craig Jones go to the Ukraine. He broke 3 guys' legs in like 4 days. He was like, guys, don't go hard. Chill out. I have to roll with 50 people. Go easy. Yeah. If you try to hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Let alone the fact that I'm old and partly crippled. So sometimes it's not going to happen.
And he just tried to like roll with everybody. He's like, I'm here. You paid.
I hosted him at my gym. He was amazing. He rolled with 40 people. Everyone got like a minute or two. He was super nice. He stayed 3 hours late and like worked with me, but also he had nothing to do. He was just hanging out on the beach, But I was gonna say, like, when you're presenting seminars as a guy who is over 40, do you roll with the people?
No. And for the same reason that you're saying, it's like I've got to preserve my body. I'm almost 56. I've been doing martial arts for 45 years. So I have to preserve my body, and I'm never going to become a slave to someone else's ego. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I used to. Someone would ask me to roll. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll roll. Even if I was like, oh, I don't want to roll, I would always roll because I felt that pressure to roll. As I've gotten older, it's like that's, I don't need to roll. We've talked about this on previous podcasts. It's like Phil Jackson didn't meet Michael Jordan every time before practice and play a game of one-on-one just to make sure that Phil Jackson was still a good coach.
You said that on one of the podcasts that we did together, and I've used that.
Yeah,
I've
because
talked to people about
it resonates, right? Like his job is to be a coach.
Yeah.
Right. Not to like
be
compete
better
against,
than all
not
of his
to
players.
be better than every person that he teaches. Like you always hear in jiu-jitsu, like, oh, I just want my students to be better than me.
No, they don't.
I don't tell my students that. I say, I want you to be as good as you're going to be. Why am I part of the equation? I'm the teacher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you will probably surpass me technically, mostly because, I'm almost 56 years old. And so I try to.
But also, you're giving them a higher step to start.
Right.
Like when we started, there was a handful of gyms, period. So
Yeah.
you only got 1 look, 2 look, 3 look. Just because the internet exists in the way that it does, and Instagram is what it is, you have so much access to shit that you would never be able to
Right.
think of before.
Yeah.
And for that reason alone, generationally, they will be better than us.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes you have to think like, what is my you have me for 1 hour. How can we be the best service to you?
Yeah,
and that's
efficient.
not always grappling.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not rolling. Like, and especially like tomorrow, I'm going to teach for 3 hours. That to me is for me is a physical feat.
Oh,
Like,
it's a
that's a
mess.
lot. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to have to, I need a day or two of recovery just after that. And every time I teach a seminar, I'm like just wrecked. For
But
a
in your
couple
own
days.
rolling, if you approach
Yeah.
your own rolling as phases, so it's not just, years and years and years of the same kind of thing. If you're able to break up, your Monday, Tuesday are my heavy grappling days, my Wednesday's mobility, Thursday is, whatever it needs to be. So that way you're able to continue doing something that you love and care about in your life, and eventually maybe be at the point where you can be of service to somebody else.
That sounds so reasonable and well thought out. And my brain is like, you didn't train today, loser.
Right.
When's the last time you went like 2 or 3 weeks without training?
Only if I've been hurt and I'm
And
still trying to do something.
And
like
how much
go
different
to-
it, like I know for me, if I go 10 days without training and I know like from an injury, I'm not going to train for another week or 2 weeks, bro, I get testy, I get
Yeah.
edgy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I feel
short
it.
fused, and like it's like a ball of like static electricity.
Yeah.
Just-
It needs to be
I've
released.
described it as like a
Ugh.
wet blanket on my brain. Like I can
Yeah.
feel like this, like somebody's just holding it, like, and then
That's a
jiu-jitsu
great way
makes
of
that go
describing
away,
it.
like
Yeah.
it's just like I
Oh,
feel like
it's
a
heavy.
fog. I think people call it like brain fog. Like I have that. If I had, a lot of times that'll just happen because of work.
Yeah.
You're talking for 4 hours on different meetings throughout the day, and then you got to get work done, and
That
then I
release.
want to like relax enough before jujitsu, maybe stretch for a half hour.
Yeah.
I lay out mats in my living room and then just like stretch. If I don't do all of that, and get to jujitsu, I'm usually miserable. Weightlifting has helped me,
It's not the same.
but it's not the same. It is
Yeah, it's
definitely
almost like
not the
it's like
same.
feeding an addiction. Like your body requires it now,
Yeah.
and the second you take it away, it just doesn't feel right.
Here's my proposition, right? Trump wants to get rid of daylight savings time. We get rid of daylight savings and we take the siesta from Spain. The siesta is typically like 3 to 4 hours.
I'm down.
We just put a class time like right at the very beginning. So you get a hard hour, get home, you get a 2.5 hour nap, and then you can go about your day.
I like this idea.
I'm running for office, guys.
I'm voting for you, bro.
We're bringing the siesta to Palm Beach County.
Siesta.
Siesta fiesta.
Siesta fiesta. I'm down.
My coach is asking what time I'm going to show up tomorrow, so I wanted to answer that. So tell him
What time would you suggest people?
I'm going to be there at 11:30 just to set up the table and put out the giveaway stuff and just talk to
Cool.
my people that are going to be there just about what
We'll
to
roll
do
in
when
at
people come in.
11:59.
Now, where is Coral Springs Jiu Jitsu?
What's that?
What is the major thoroughfare for Coral Springs Jiu Jitsu?
If you're going west on Sample, you'll pass University, and if you want to park in the back, it's the next light after University. Make a right and just go around the back of the building. It's pretty obvious. You make the first turn after the building, or it's one of those you got to pass it to go through the parking lot that only goes one way.
Oh, that's where Bad
a
Brains
lot of
Tattoo
Coral
used to be.
Springs.
Yeah.
A lot of Coral Springs is like that because I guess at some point they expanded
That's
the
my old
roads,
hood,
took the
cuz I
parking
know.
lots. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll drive past that first light and then the first entrance to the shopping
Really
center.
good Italian restaurant.
Make
down the
it
block
right.
from
Go
here,
back.
just so you know.
What's the name of the place?
I couldn't tell you offhand, but I can tell you exactly where it is.
Not Moderano's.
It's a little standalone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wonderful.
There's a really good Italian restaurant, or a lot of people said it was good. I didn't like it, but it just changed ownerships, kept the name. They basically redid everything and the menu. So there is a really good restaurant just right up the road from where you're going to be.
Awesome.
So, a lot of good. I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. I had one other question for you, and now I forgot because we started talking about Italian food.
I want a cannoli.
Are you ride wise? Are you guys are coming down? Or are we coming to get you? What's
Depends
you got
on
you got
if we
Sean.
get a ride from
Oh,
him.
Sean,
If
you got a
not,
ride.
maybe you.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So let's we'll kind of start to go down the road here to wrapping things up. Do you want to? You got a lot of stuff going on. You want to give some shout outs? I know you like doing something with Ex Marshall, right?
Yeah, we've got our affiliation with Ex Marshall. They have really awesome rash guards, spats, all that good stuff. And they have some really cool BJJ After 40 specific line of stuff. Also, check out our book on Amazon, the BJJ After 40 Survival Guide.
Don't have, you know what?
That's okay.
I've had it here. I don't have it here. We should. How did we not have
That's
that?
okay. Go.
Unbelievable.
It's next.
Get our book.
It's on my nightstand.
Sure it is.
Amazon has it.
But Amazon and Barnes and
Yeah.
Noble have
There
it
you
too.
go.
Can you pull up Amazon for us?
Barnes and Noble.
So the book, Ex Marshall.
Books,
Look
Ex
for your
Marshall.
is the stuff that you're recording. Is it for Ex Marshall?
We're gonna. It'll be for sale on Ex Marshall, but it'll be up pretty quick here, probably in the next month or so. Once
Very
we get
cool.
back and get all the other stuff filmed. Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be
Anything else you want to mention?
awesome. No, that's about it right now.
Sheena,
No.
have anything?
Definitely check out Ex Marshall. They have some great gear for the ladies too.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
cool stuff. Very
I'm
cool
just
designs.
noticing, like, I know that I've several times, and I think I might even see you take a picture. Are you like into bird watching? You've got birds on your shirt. He mentioned the bird on the ride here. You took a picture. No, the other night you took a picture of maybe like you went over to like a plant. I thought maybe you were into birds, into bird watching. No, not at all. Mike was like, "Look, did you see the bird?" And I'm like, "Okay, bird shirt."
we're
I'm
so
like,
corny.
"No." Yeah, I thought
This is
so.
what happens
I
when
like
you
it
get
all.
older.
This is what
Yeah.
happens when you're together for like 20 years. You're like, oh, cute
Look at the
birds. Look
bird.
at the flowers. Oh my god.
I'm like that when I see like horses and cows, like because
Bro, I'm a big,
Never
scary
saw
looking
that.
dude, and I see
Yeah, she
dogs.
saw a squirrel on the way over here.
What's that?
She said she saw a squirrel too.
squirrel.
She told me that yesterday. She's like, oh, a squirrel.
In my mind, I'm like, I'm going to ask her about bird watching. She must be into bird watching.
Definitely into bird watching.
Like, look,
Based on deductive reasoning.
that's an American cardinal.
She knows all about them.
Show him how it's done, Ben. Give him your rundown. Go ahead. Hook him up, Christian.
Right
Let's
here
do it.
in the cam, right down the barrel. Ben Stark. Follow me online, MMA Coach Ben on Instagram. I have a new gauze and tape company, fighttape.us. You can find us on Instagram. Our first load is coming in.
Is that your?
That's me.
That's you? I think I just saw the Instagram. That you have an Instagram?
Yeah.
You just?
I
okay.
started it was super dead, but now I finally got a good factory. I'm getting my first major shipment in.
So bring him in. Put him
Yeah.
right there on the
Oh.
desk. Put him up there in the back when you get it
100%.
done. You've got your T-shirts as well. I left it.
Ooh.
Where did I put it? Did I leave
It's
it
on
over
the
there?
counter over there.
Okay. You brought me one of those
You can
shirts.
find
Thank
my
you.
T-shirts, and you will be able to find Fight Tape on HammerJujitsuShop.com. Check that out. And of course, if you are in the North Palm Beach area, American Top Team Palm Beach Gardens, the absolute best combat sports facility in all of North Palm Beach.
Boom.
We actually had talked about. I said, we were talking about seminars, and I was just like, would you be able to do? I guess it's just not. There's not as much population
Yeah,
density up there.
So
to
my
potentially
entire
have
city
done
is
something up there.
55,000.
Wow.
It's just a smaller city.
Yeah.
You in Coral Springs, you're dealing with close to 1 million.
Yeah,
You know,
Jeez.
yeah,
That's wild.
yeah,
that's what I was telling him. I was like, I'm happy to do
area.
a seminar to help out as well, and I'm more
Yeah.
than happy to come into Coral Springs.
Sure.
yeah.
There's
yeah.
just so many more people.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to see. This is the first time that I've done it.
Yeah.
I want to see how this goes. What we could be
Crushing
doing
it.
better.
It's gonna be dope.
I have other
be amazing.
people. Toledo wanted to do one. Toledo Alan Carr, a UFC fighter. After she was on, said she wanted to do something just completely. I don't even think we had. I don't even know if we had mentioned the seminar or she had picked up. I think maybe I shouted it out on the episode. We went to lunch with her crew, and she was just like, "Hey man, I want to do seminars." She's like, "I'd love to do something for the girls, but she stand up. And she's an IBJJF world champion, so she wanted to do something. So I'm like, they've got their beach jiu-jitsu happening on the same day as us. So she would have come over to the thing. It was it got delayed because of the rain. So there's like a whole gym that was supposed to come, like a kind of a friends of the family of this school, of my school. So that gym is going there.
Oh, cool.
And then Talita, she's
Right on.
part owner, so she's going there. But yeah, I have other people that are that are looking to do this, and is this the right way to do it? We'll figure it out. How in your area, if somebody's trying to find you or wants to do a seminar in their area, they can reach out at BJJ After 40.
Any of my social media, BJJ After 40, Instagram. We have a big Facebook group for people over 40. Although we do get a lot of people under 40 sneaking in there.
Kick them out.
Yeah.
Dude, I know, right? Get out of here,
You
kid.
guys have the rest of the
Get
world.
off my lawn.
Get out of here, kid. But yeah, look us up on BJJ After 40.
Very cool, guys.
Find
Thank
us.
you for coming out.
Oh my God, this
thank
is
you for
awesome.
doing this.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. So you are our most returning guest. Is that how I would say it?
Wow.
You've been on the most out of any guest. I think
Holding
we
the
ever officially.
record for appearances
Well,
on
hold
Jiu
on,
Jitsu
wait a minute.
Dummies.
Well, you're doing co-hosting
Yeah.
duties, so I think you're
I don't
kind
think
of
it
up there.
counts.
Yeah.
If I'm on all of them, I
Yeah.
can't be a guest.
I would
Right.
really love for you. I
Co-host.
got to get my friend Miguel, one of my old co-hosts, to come on. Like, his sense of humor and you together would be amazing. And
That's the day I'm going to be tired.
he's a little bit of like an
and
encyclopedia
You're like,
with.
"What's wrong?"
He loves jujitsu. He watches everything, follows everything. He's got a new. He's been doing a new meme page. He turned his JJD Instagram into his. It's called Matt_moment. So check it out. He's putting out lots of funny memes.
Love it.
So really cool. But I would love to have the two of you on.
Hell yeah.
It would just be a bullshit. Remember the way that this was all founded
yeah.
was us just doing roundtables with people that love jiu-jitsu, and we would just bullshit.
Hell yeah.
The guest thing kind of came later. It's just like, hey, you want to come on? Because we're just going to sit in a circle and all just talk
shit,
about
yeah.
jiu-jitsu. So it was really cool. So thank you again
Yeah,
for doing this.
thank
guys
you.
are always welcome. I hope the
Super
seminar
fun.
works out really well tomorrow.
Yes.
We have lots of walk-ins, and I hope we have a lot of people that be like, hey, I'm here for the seminar.
I'm going to need a partner. Just saying.
How much you want?
259.
Let's give you
I
the
rolled-
smallest partner.
Dude, I'm great with little people. My favorite partners are tiny people.
I rolled with a guy that
Actual
we
little people?
Yeah.
Okay.
we were.
I play bottom.
I rolled with a guy the other day that we were both like, we were like, hey, how much you weigh? How much? 230. I'm looking at him. I'm going, Matt, you do not weigh 230. You're at least 250, 260. I'm like, all right, I'll take 230. Talk about like just his top pressure was. I'm like, is this how people feel when I'm on top of them? Like, I know you're like a little bit. It was like size wise, height. Like we were very similar, but he's definitely bigger than me. His top pressure was just ridiculous. I had to get out from under there, but it was just so ridiculous. I was trying to do lockdown. His legs were thicker. I'm like, geez, I can't really get him off
So
of me.
this is what it's like.
But this is what I'm like,
Yeah, I don't want
want
any of that.
I want to be a little
I don't wanna
nicer.
do it.
It's always great when like just somebody a little bit smaller than me.
Like 175. Someone I can pick up with a foot. That's
right,
what I'm looking for.
right.
There you go. Bo's gonna be there.
There you go.
Bo.
That's like my
I will
size.
break you.
I'm still trying to get Bo. You'd think that after 6 years, Bo would have gone to a class.
I've been
Not at all.
secretly training at home.
Yeah. No.
I'm sending him
Rolling
videos
around
all the
in the
time.
bedroom with.
I send him videos, dude. We got a whole thing going.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
I've been training jiu-jitsu for 4 years. In 4 years, I got hurt 6 times. I received stem cell injections in my wrists, elbows, shoulders, both knees, and I got stem cells recently injected in my left index finger. After a week and a half, I was right back at it, going the way I like to go at it. Italy Heal Biogenics, they're friendly, they're patient, they answer all the questions you might have. Educate yourself. Call Lee Heal, ask about stem cells, and see where it takes you.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram @flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up. Let's quick shout out to Bioprotein Tech, bioproteintech.com. You get $30 off of if you buy these two boxes together. It's the Quarter C Plus and then the BioPro. You get $30 off with code JJD. The BJJ box is back with us as well. We've got a box coming soon. You can check them out at thebjjbox.com. You get 20% off your first box with the code JJD20. What are they called? You know, they send you a box. Is that called bespoke? Was it bespoke or
bespoke posts?
Where you get like a whole bunch of different things. Is that the meaning of bespoke? Like they send you a box with a bunch of different stuff in it. Maybe I'm just an idiot. No clue. There's an actual company called that for like men's stuff. But for jiu-jitsu, like you get a box of like, you know, you'll get some type of workout gear, a shirt, a rash guard. Yeah, reach out.
Mike and I want boxes.
Send me a box.
Listen,
Send me a box.
I love boxes.
I
me a
love
box
opening
of
gifts.
pinks.
His name is Tony. Tell Tony.
Hey,
Tony, come on. Where's my box?
Give your boy a box.
That's
over
me a
here.
box. Kind of racist. Is anybody Italian? Are you guys anybody Italian?
I'm super Italian. No,
I was going to say it's super racist. That's super. That's
I am
Well, she's
Australian.
Hispanic. She can do
super
it.
racist. No, that doesn't count.
I don't know.
Firstly, it's not hateful. It's an
like that.
homage to
Yeah.
Tony Soprano,
Yeah.
who is actually based on a Polish guy, but we can talk about
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
So Tony, there was your shout out, Tony. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Tony.
Listen, I grew up on Long
That was
Island.
over the line.
I grew up on Long. That's the way guys talk on Long Island, and it gets
from New York,
Long
too,
Island.
so,
See how it comes out
Long Island.
as you get closer to the city. That's like what you saw on The Soprano. That's the way it sounds.
Yeah.
Once you get to like the edge of Nassau County into like Queen.
Oh, you was up in Nassau? Aye.
Yeah, it is straight up like that.
Mikey.
I dated when I first got to Florida. I dated a girl from Staten Island. Same thing, Staten Island.
man.
Bro, like it's so thick.
You gotta
I used
come
to
out
love
to
it.
the island and meet
I
my
used
brother.
to love it because like so many New Yorkers are here in Florida. So like I used to love it. I can't stand
I fucking
a
love
girl with a Long Island or like the
Dude.
Queen's
it.
accent.
Bruh.
Oh no.
It
Fran
is-
Drescher, the nanny, okay?
She does it
As-
for you.
Oh, bro, as a
hot.
as a New England Jew hearing Mr. Sheffield. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I find that super hot.
I hate it. I
It's
hate
the
it.
best.
I went on a date one time with a woman, who like it's just this like I got to be tough. She go like I'm already not feeling her because she's talking all tough and like doing a lot of this, you know, like doing a lot of this stuff, you know.
Come on,
and I'm like, you're
she's
4'0". Stop hitting
She's
me. Why are
slapping
you
your
hitting
ass.
me?
She's going, you looking
Punching
real
you in the
cute
chest.
tonight,
She
Milky.
goes to the bathroom and comes back and tells me about how she almost got into a fight with a girl in the bathroom, and I'm like, yeah, this is going.
Oh, hold on. She tell me. She came back. She threw a purse. She goes, "You wouldn't believe this bitch."
Yeah,
I'm back there taking a
Yeah, I
shit.
was just like, yeah. That's exactly how it went down. Pretty much. I find it. I'm sorry, everybody. I just.
Oh god.
From I need super low. I need low key.
When you
I
think
need
your missus
like
is
really
gonna fist
like.
fight you over broccoli, yeah,
Right. I need very like calm vibes
Yeah,
in my
fights in
life.
bathrooms aren't good.
Yeah, I was like,
It's
oh,
not
that's
good.
cute. I did that when I was,
Shit flying
25.
everywhere.
I was getting into fights in the bathroom.
Oh,
But so check out our friends at the BJJ box. JJD20. Hey, Tony. Hey, you get 2 shout outs, Tony.
bruh.
Check us out at Jiu Jitsu Dummies for all the ways to watch, listen, and support. We got our little link tree there. Click on it. It brings you to everything, including Academy Safe. You can check out my personal IG, Uncle Milty BJJ.
Boom.
That's it. Thank you for watching and listening, everybody. Peace, love, Jiu Jitsu. Us.